And we're live. We'll go back up to the top and give you nice shout outs. First off, we got Michael Morello. Then Maurice Kaysen, Want to Be Outdoors. Lee Evans, I hope you're doing good. You're in our thoughts and prayers. We hope you get better soon. Uh, Jason Lamb, Maurice Kaysen, Fishing with Big Mike, Dave Garcher. Paula Smith is in the house.
The queen of catfishing herself.
Exactly. Queen of the 80-pound club, as I call her.
Yep, the
We
queen
got
of catfishing.
Stephen Corley, uh, Chunk. She says, "Hey, Chuck." We got 5 people in here. Well, just chit chat for a minute before we get into discussion. See how many more people come in.
Okay. Yeah, I was real proud of Polly yesterday. She made a wise decision. She decided not to weather the storm, but to go home. She wasn't going to risk her boat. I admire that.
That I have to
See our
stand
tournament.
behind her 100%. She used her wisdom to save her boat, herself,
Yeah,
and
there'll
not
be
do that
thousands.
risk.
There'll be thousands of tournaments, and guess what? I'm not going to risk my life for one
No,
because water is very unforgiving, and I admire what she done. I know
we
it
get
kind of ate her lunch, but I still admire it.
yeah, I still admire it. We get Dan Thompson, Alan Dittmeyer, Judy Booty, Mad Cat is Catfishing. But anybody that was going to go into those kind of conditions and fish it and call it and say they're not doing it because of that, I stand behind them and I'll support them 100%.
I do too.
Ray
Um,
Smith, but
Water is very unforgiving. It's not a place where you make a mistake and recover over in just 1 minute. Water's
it's
in
both
one.
unforgiving on the boat and on the bank.
Oh yeah, in 1 minute, water can take everything you've got, you and everything else, and just that fast.
Yep.
So I admire her judgment.
A. Sean Bell, Georgia Fisherman, and I'm glad when people use their common sense because it keeps other people from having to worry to death about if they're okay, if they're not. It's always good to let people know where you're going fishing and what you're doing so they know what's happening. Hey, Chrissy Brown and Georgia Fins and Fines and Georgia Fishermen. But those are things like that you have to admire for people.
Well, everybody's the captain of their own boat, so
Yeah.
you make the final choice. You decide. Uh, and if you don't feel safe being on the water, don't be on the water because hey, I'm gonna tell you, I learned a long time ago. Your first instinct's always the right one.
Yeah, because you're a
First
captain of your own boat and your own trip.
Yep, because if your first instinct tells you to load up and go home, guess what? Load up, go home.
Exactly. And I'm still praying for all those people that were out there on the water and the people that lost their boats
Yeah,
because I'm praying that they uh, are safe. I'm praying
yeah.
they're safe and that no one was lost in that. Lost in that.
Well, like I
That's
say,
just treacherous.
a storm on a big body of water like that. You think about 3, 4, 5 foot rollers. A lot of boats ain't meant to handle, and a lot of people have never dealt with that, so they
I
don't know
don't
what to
even.
do with that situation.
I
I've been
know.
on ocean before and not seen storms that bad.
Right. I know Sea Arcs can handle that, but in that kind of condition on a lake, no, thank you. He's not worth it.
No,
That's still asking for trouble. That's kind of trouble you don't need in your life.
I don't need it. Hey, I can get myself in enough without any help.
I do that myself anyway.
Yeah, I don't need nobody to help me.
No. Myself anyway. Oh, you're doing what I'm doing, huh?
Yep,
Because StreamYard chat isn't as fast.
right.
That's why I'm going to go on my tablet, pull it up, and mute the live stream and
Yeah, I see.
chat
I see.
live.
I see. Palmetto Cats in the chat. He was at the
He
American
was the Iron
American
Cat
Heroes
Challenge.
Catfish Tournament.
He did great on that show. I got to commend him on that.
Yeah, I saw him Friday night doing the live tournament.
Right. I watched it from the time it started to the time it ended.
Did you? Well, I had to go to work, so I had to fall out early. I had to be one of the ones to crash. I guess I was man out.
John Boy, there was boats sunk in the Sea Arc tournament, and I got to commend uh, Palmetto for keeping that Iron Cat challenge peaceful and content and happy. But that
Yeah,
was
whenever
that
I was
was great.
watching, whenever I was watching, he was even singing.
He was getting delirious when he was singing.
Yeah.
But you missed it last night before people came in to relieve him to take a nap. He's
Well,
getting slapstick goofy.
was he getting slapstick goofy?
Oh
Well,
yeah,
I seen he had Chad on there, and they were having a good time though. That's all. That's what it's all about. That's what catfishing's always all about.
but Palmetto was very entertaining. He had Haslife, he had Roger, and he had Weekend Angler there to cover for him while he took a nap. Yeah, he was sleep drunk, as he put it.
Yeah, it'll do it to
Okay,
you.
okay, everybody in chat. In case you don't know who this is, Chuck Watkins. He's also a representative for Kasking. So if you guys do have any questions for him, please post them in chat so we can catch them and put them up. So with any further ado, an intro from Chuck since he's been here from last time he was on here was a year ago. So tell us a little bit about what's been happening since then.
Well, in the last year, I'm a Kasking brand ambassador. I'm a field staff for Bloodline Catfish Tackle. Jerry Droughty puts out a great product. Um, the Whisker Assassins East Coast Pro Team. I'm part of the Southeastern Elite Bloodline team. I got to meet Matt Knight of Mad Cat's Rods. Mad Cat's puts out some pretty amazing rods and making a pretty big dent in the world. And doing a lot of work, but trying to sneak in a little time to go fishing too.
All right, here's your first question from Palmetto.
Mm-hmm.
Will you be at Catapalooza on May 21st in Pigeon Forge?
Right now, I'm trying to get my schedule at work worked out. I want to be, but I'm just not sure. I did buy and donate some reels to the kids. There's a lot of kids that's going to be part of a pro team that's sponsored by companies, Sea Arc Boats and other people, and they need some reels. And so I bought a Kasking Rover and sent to Mickey Rogers. I'm proud to help these kids. They need something in their life besides electronic tablets and phones and video games.
Exactly.
They need to be outdoors like I was when I was a kid. I had one thing to play with when I was little. It's called outside. But before we get started, I want to take a minute and talk
Go
about
ahead.
talk about the American Heroes Catfish Tournament.
Go for it.
Um, last, I was humbled enough to be invited to the American Heroes Catfish Tournament, and here's the dog tag for it. Being a vet, I was humbled that people turned out from Missouri, Lyle Stokes, Ohio, Chad Fields, Palmetto Cats came up, raised $7,000 for homeless vets. I was just floored. I was humbled. I was humbled that the catfishing community as a whole came together to help homeless vets. I'm proud to be a vet and I'm proud of this country. But to see these guys give up their Saturdays and their time away from their family, and a lot of them brought family with them, but it was one of the greatest get togethers I had ever had a chance to be at. And I met some of the people that I only knew from Facebook and YouTube that I'd only seen that were, to me, legends in the catfish world. So, and I was humbled that some of them even knew who I was. So I was very proud of what they did last Saturday for Centurion. It was just an amazing, amazing turnout. 70 boats, like I say, raised $7,000.
I was amazed at how much they raised for that.
It was just, it was one of the great. You'd almost call it a family reunion. I mean, all jokes aside, it was almost a family reunion. Everybody having a good time, laughing, cutting up, going on, and they all came together to help homeless vets. You know,
Exactly.
and I was, like I say, when it comes down to it, the catfish community really is a family. They're more of a family than a lot of real families, in my opinion.
Exactly.
What they done was, like I say, I was humbled. I was really, truly humbled.
Patriot James did an amazing thing when he started doing this years ago, and he still keeps doing it every year, which is quite amazing. He deserves a lot of credit for putting that up and doing that every year. But
Uh,
he's just
I,
one of those people that's just not one to take the credit. He's ready to just let it go and just put it on, pass it on to the vets.
well, let me tell you what, he's already said that next year is going to be April 16th, so my calendar's already marked. I'm ready. I'm ready. I was ready to do it yesterday. I could call in sick to work.
Oh yeah. All
It
right,
was
we have a question from Michael Morello.
okay.
Do you happen to know when will the Kong rods be back in stock?
Uh, I'm going to say probably within the next 4 to 6 weeks. Right now, they're with COVID, everything is stuck at the border. I work for the automotive industry, and right now there's about 6 different plants that create automobiles that are shut down. They're waiting on a computer chip, a little tiny computer chip that goes in the key. And guess where it comes from? Of course, China.
Japan.
China. Welcome to
Okay.
the chip world. And what it does, it goes in keys. And they've been discussing possibly you buy a new truck or car, you get one key, and they'll mail you the other one when they get the chips in. So
Here's
who's
a
going to?
here's a statement and a compliment from Alan Dittmeyer. Thank you, Chuck and Abbott, for all your help. Chuck is a good dude. Proud to have him as a friend. Hopefully someday I can shake his hand.
Roger Allen Dittmeyer has done an awesome job with Catfish Pirates. I've
Yes,
talked
he
to him.
has.
I've talked to him a bunch on Messenger. As a matter of fact, I was the one who messaged you to go live at his gathering last year to help him out. And y'all done a wonderful job, and I appreciate you helping him because he really does do an awesome job. He has worked hard to put together this tournament and has over 100 sponsors.
Every
And he,
year he gets ready to do this tournament. I always bring him on my show so he can get his shout outs and everything for it. And I'm honored that he does it.
oh, I'm telling you what, he's just, believe it or not, I've only talked to him through Messenger. I've never met him. He lives in Indiana, and of course, I live in North Carolina. And if it wasn't so far, I might just surprise him and show up at the tournament just to see the look on his face. But uh, he's done an awesome job putting that together. He's went out and he's beat on doors and he's asked sponsors to help him, and he's trying to make it bigger and better every year. And he's got a guaranteed purse, and best I can recall, I think it's about $1,000 to first place, which is pretty good for a little startup tournament.
Yeah, I'm amazed at how, I mean, it takes him a year to plan out for the next one. From the time that one stops or before that one, before the one that starts this year, he's already planning for the next year. Hey, Lyle, how are you doing? And seeing Alan Dittmeyer do what he does for that contest, that fishing contest for veterans, as well as what Patriot James did for veterans, is amazing.
Oh, I'm gonna tell you,
It's mind blowing.
I was almost humbled to tears. I was almost humbled to tears at the outpouring to help veterans. I mean, while we're talking about veterans, I want to mention one more thing.
Go for it.
I want to mention a number that don't mean a lot to a lot of people, but to me, I strive hard every day to spread the word on this. And the number is
It's
18. It's 18 to 22. And people don't realize that that's the number of veterans that every day commit suicide because they're sent to battle, a lot of them as a boy, and they come
mhm.
back with demons in their head as a man, and
They don't know how to deal with it.
the government shakes their hand, thank you, gives them a check, and sends them on their way. And they can't deal with what they came home, with what they carry in their head.
No,
And that's the reason I keep this flag around, the American flag. It's to remind me that every day there's 18 to 22 of them that are folded three corners that are gave to surviving family members, spouses, brothers, brother-in-laws, whoever it is, surviving family members. And I want to give a shout out to the people like Gary Allen Stinson, who's a friend of mine, who all summer, during the summer, one weekend a month for free, he takes a vet out fishing. Bring you a snack, bring you a drink, and they go out and they just fish and sit and talk and have a good time. Catfish Billy Birch down in Texas, he does the same thing. There's a lot of fishermen that take vets out, and I think if we all would take a little time out, one weekend, take a vet fishing, give him something to focus on besides the nightmare in his head. That maybe there'll be a day when we wouldn't need to give away 18 to 22 three corner flags. And
amen.
I hope I live to see that day.
So do I, bud. So do I. But with
Well,
the
Miss
way
Paula,
Alan Dittmeyer and Patriot James is working with the help of Lyle Smith, it I believe it's going to be sooner than later.
well,
And I have to commend Lyle Smith for going driving out there from Missouri all the way up to the Patriot James just to help him out and not do any fishing. That was
I,
amazing to see
I'm, I,
him help raise those funds.
I'm gonna tell you, I was just truly humbled. And let me tell you about the catfish world. Let me tell you what happened there that day. I was standing there at the table, and this shirt, of course, the Centurion is going to be the name of the veterans home. And they had this shirt and these hats at a table. And I watched a catfisherman come up, and the guy told him, said, "This is all free. Please take it, whatever." And he took a hat and a shirt, or it might have been two shirts and two hats. And he said, "What if I just give you $300?" And he laid down $300 and walked off. I was just, well, I was almost to tears. I was humbled.
That would just lay anybody just breathless over seeing something like that.
Well, it was the outpour of the community, and you'd be amazed at the people that came just to shake hands with vets and talk to vets. That that I had a guy tell me, he said, "It's because of you I get to do things I do every day." Let me tell you something. I was a peacetime soldier. I'm by no way an American hero.
No,
Um, I volunteered. I pulled my duty. I'm proud of my country and I'm proud to be a vet, but I'm by no means a hero.
I
The
I,
heroes
I
to
want
me,
to say something. Just because you were a peacetime soldier, you're still a hero in our eyes. Because you still gave up your freedoms to serve to protect us, and that in our eyes that still makes you a hero.
I appreciate it. Like I say, I was truly humbled. I absolutely got to meet some of the nicest people that I could ever imagine in my life. And like I say, I can't wait till next year. I wish it was tomorrow. I'd call in sick at work now.
Uh, I'll say this in my words, but I think everybody in chat will agree. Any man that will go and sign on that dotted line to serve in the U.S. military, whether it be Coast Guard, U.S. Air Force, the Marines, the Army, the Navy, and serve, whether it's in peacetime or in war, and to come back and defend our freedom, both foreign and domestic, they're still heroes.
Well, I appreciate that. I said a lot of people don't realize that when you join the military, you take an oath. When you leave the military, you don't give that oath back.
No,
It
you're
stays
living that
with
oath to the day you die.
it stays with you as long as you live. A friend of mine has a shirt that says, "I once wrote a check for an amount including up to my life, payable at any time,"
Uh huh.
and that check has never been rescinded.
Nope. Like Palmetto Cat says, thanks to all who served. Everybody in this catfish community that I know and I follow and I watch their channels, they all support the uh, the veterans and the people who are serving 110%.
Yeah, the uh, I'm proud of this country. I'm proud of that flag. I'm proud of this freedom. I'm proud of I'm proud of having the right that we can get up tomorrow and if we want to go to the river and go fishing or go to the dam and go fishing or wherever. And it was paid for with blood. It wasn't free.
Big Mike, that couldn't have been said any better. They and their families deserve everything.
I appreciate that. I've been blessed. I have been blessed in life. Great friends. I've got to have a passion for chasing monster cats, and I've got to go out and do it all I can. So life's been good.
Dan even said it even better. USA is what it is because of the people like you and our I can't read the last part because of US because of you and people like you that serve.
Well, like I say, I'm proud of this country.
I'm proud of the country and I'm really proud of the catfish community for standing up and supporting these people.
Oh yeah, the catfish community came together. Like I say, really, it was like a family reunion. I'm just telling you, it was like you had knew these people 50 years. It wasn't like you just met them today. It was like you had known them your whole life. It was just an amazing event. And Patriot James, what he done putting on that event was truly amazing. I mean, it was truly amazing.
Yes, and Palmetto Cat. I mean, Patriot James deserves a lot of credit for what he's done, and the people that helps him put this on, and the people that help him, they
Oh yeah.
deserve a lot of credit and the credit for it too, because they're taking out time of their own time of doing fishing or whatever else to go help put something like this on for our vets. And
Yeah,
I got to commend him for it.
yeah, well, he like he said, I seen him the other night on the Patriot James show, and he said he's just already planning next year. He's ready for it again.
Yeah, but see to see James talk about this on his own live and listen to him,
Oh, he
the
gets choked
passion
up. He gets choked
yeah,
up.
he gets choked up, but I tell you what, the passion in his eyes,
Oh yeah,
wow, it's just amazing.
yeah, he is. It's like I say, and when it was over, the chaplain who is going to be over the new barracks, right?
Right?
Called everybody to prayer. Almost like it almost reminded me of being in the army because it sounded like the same commands. Attention, you know what I'm saying? At ease. Let us
Mm-hmm.
pray. Uh, it was truly a great event. It was just, and like I say, these people gave up their weekend, their whole day. Like I say, um, Lyle drove down from Missouri. That wasn't just down the street. That wasn't a
No,
2 hour ride. You know what
that's
I'm saying?
almost 1,800 miles away.
Yeah. And he came down to help vets, and I truly was, like I say, I was humbled.
Lyle and Cindy both drove 1,800 miles just to be there to help Patriot James and to meet you guys and to shake hands with some of the vets.
Well, uh, Chad Fields from Fishing with the Chad. I think he drove from Ohio. And like I say, that wasn't a 2 hour ride down the street. You know what I'm saying?
No, it ain't a 2 hour ride.
No, it was two
If
hours for me.
if it was 2 hours for me, I'd be there every year.
Yeah. Well, it's 2 hours for me to Lake Wiley from where I'm at. It's about, yeah, about
Right.
2 hours. But it was great. It really was great. And like I say, I can't wait till next year.
I can't.
I,
I just wish they'd do more live streaming during that.
poor old James, I felt so sorry for him. His phone malfunctioned. It wouldn't take pictures. It wouldn't shoot video. And he was laughing the other night. Said, "I got a new phone. Be in the mail Tuesday."
I just hope that they'll be able to do it live on the entrance and the way in and stuff like that, to where a lot of people can see it
Right. Uh,
that
meeting
can't be
Chad.
there.
You should have been there. Chad Fields brought his wife. She caught
Dee,
the fish. He just drove the boat. I think that's kind of how it went.
yeah,
Yeah.
Chad Fields drove, and Dee told him, "You don't
Indeed.
catch the first fish because
And,
if you
and
catch
I
the first fish, we'll lose."
and I was thinking that Dee caught the her personal best, and I think Dee caught most of the fish. I think Chad was just there to bait the hook and help her get them in.
Uh huh. And Dee even broke her personal best
Yeah.
twice.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
like
That's my.
here's what Chad said about that. That's
That's
why
why.
she brings me.
Yeah. Need somebody to cut bait and tie the hook. Yeah.
Uh huh. That's why she
But
brings. That's why Dee brings Chad, because he's good at just snelling knots,
and
tying
cutting bait
swivels,
and cutting bait.
respooling land, and cut bait.
Yeah. No, they were a great couple. It was a pleasure meeting them, and it was a pleasure just to meet everybody. And I was amazed at the people that were there that really used Kasking products and knew about them. You know, uh,
Yeah,
Kasking has made a big, came a long way. And
I know they've came a long way in a year since you've been on here last.
oh yeah, their new Recon that they came out with, uh, the Recon 20, in which I got one of them. Let's see. Oh, like knock a hole in the ceiling. I have something else to fix. That's the
Don't make
new
the
Re.
honeydew list any bigger.
Yeah, that's the new Recon 20. 30
That's
pound of
nice.
drag. 30 pound of drag and a power handle already on it.
That's nice.
And it runs about $70. You can't touch that. You know what I'm saying? You
Right.
can't buy any reel for that kind of money.
No.
Uh,
What's the price tag on that?
$70, about $70 in tax.
Oh, that ain't bad.
No.
Palmetto says he has a Kasking Rover 60 on his new MRC Paula Smith rod.
Oh yeah, the Kasking Rover 60. Those have been around forever, and those are still doing the job. I seen guys that had some that, honest to God, the paint was beat off of them when they'd slung them in the boat and beat them off the side of the boat, and they were still doing what they were doing. And it's funny. I told Paula Smith when I got my rod, I got a matter of fact here. Paula Smith would never forgive me, I'm sure, if I didn't show
The Paula Smith rod.
the Paula Smith rod. Yeah, the Muddy
Please
River
do that.
rod.
We don't want her mad at you.
No, and I told her. She said, "I can't wait till you get to catch fish with it." I told her I'm going to make a shadow box and put it on the wall of the only famous person I ever know that had a rod with their name on it. I'm not going to use
That's a
it.
that's a beautiful rod.
Oh yeah,
But
that has
like,
came.
I wouldn't put it in the shadow box until after you caught a cat with
Oh, it ain't going in a shadow box. She knows better. She knows I'm going to take it out and beat it up and use it.
it.
I don't buy things to look at. I
No.
never have. If I buy it, I'm going to use it.
So what else is new with Kasking?
Kasking has a new braid out. This is called, well,
There you go.
the 8X Finesse. And believe it or not, I was just impressed with this. This is 8 strands woven together, and it is thin as a hair. And this is 30 pound.
That 30-pound test, and it's in his 8-pound test.
Yeah, it is. I mean, really, if you could feel how thin this is, and it's funny. It's 30-pound test, but the breaking strength on it's 44 pounds.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's almost a diameter of 8-pound test.
Yeah, it's 0.11 diameter. And
Uh
like
huh.
I say, I'll tell you what I got it for. I got that 30-pound braid, and I'm gonna rig me an ultralight rod on an ultralight reel on a medium heavy rod and catch big cats with it. I just want to feel the fight. I just want to watch that little ultralight reel fight with that big rod.
Well, with that idea, you gave me an idea to take a ugly stick dock runner, lining with anywhere from 20 to 30-pound braid, and to see how big of a catfish I can land with it.
Yeah, and without breaking the rod. Yeah,
Right, without breaking the rod or the reel.
because the rod's not what, but 36 inches, 3 foot.
Yeah, it's 36 inches. It's an inch longer than my arm,
Right?
fully extended. And that reel is a tiny little spinning reel, which is made for basically crappie.
Yeah. Here is the new Kasking Kong rod, and this is fast action. This is 7'6" heavy, and believe it or not, it's made to throw 4 to 12 ounces, 30 to 60-pound line, and of course, it has the recon on it. And I was telling you a while ago about but the clicker
Right.
that's turned off.
I hear it now.
That's turned on.
Is that a two-piece, the rod?
Yes, but when it's put together, you can't tell it because
Well, the reason why,
the bottom
the re-
section slides almost past the eye, so it
right.
makes it almost a one-piece rod with a fast tip.
There's a reason Palmetto asked that. Because he borrowed a Chunky Cat's rod when he's up in D.C.,
Uh huh.
and he did the Happy Gilmore cast, and
Uh huh.
the rod went in half and broke the line, and half the rod went down river while he's holding the bottom half.
I see. Yeah, that's not a good thing.
No,
And then, of course,
As Kevin says, Happy Gilmore don't like a two-piece rod.
no. And of course, here's the Kasking capstan. And I know that looks like a bass reel, but believe
I
it or
like that
not,
low profile reel.
that is a monster. That's got 60-pound braid on it. And that'll fight any cat you want to fight and fight it all day long.
What reel is that one?
The Kasking Capstan 300.
Wow, that's a nice reel.
Oh, yeah. And while we're talking about it, let's talk about some local North Carolina boys. Uh, Let me show you this rod here.
Well, we
This,
do have Palmetto catches. I think he's either North Carolina or South Carolina.
he's South Carolina. That's close enough as long as it's a Carolina. But this here is comes from Rockingham, North Carolina. Matt Knight, and this
Hello
is
to all vets.
this is the Mad Cat's rod.
Wow,
How you like that?
I love that one. What kind of design is on the handle?
It's almost like a puzzle. Look at the colors.
That's what I'm saying. They look like a puzzle, but I love the real seat.
Oh yeah, it's double-footed aluminum, right? And the rod goes clean through. See the slots?
Right.
The rod blank goes all the way to the back.
That's cool.
Also, 11 eyes. Look here. 11.
That's made for fighting something really big.
Oh yeah. And this little company from North Carolina, believe it or not, has caught on fire. These rods, they sell out pre-orders just overnight.
What's the price tag on one of those rods? You know?
$80.
That ain't bad at all.
No, no.
Brian says he got 2 mad cats and 2 more on the way.
Who, Brian?
Yeah, Brian B. Catfishing.
All right. Well, here, let me show you their latest one.
Oh
Wait,
no,
you.
he says he's got 3 Mad Cats and 2 more on the way.
All right. Well, let me show you this one then, since you're gonna. This. Check this one out. The new Venom.
The Venom?
Yeah.
Wow. I love those rod seats and handles.
Uh, Look here, red and black, and of course
Right.
the black Kasking Recon. You talking about a good-looking rod and reel?
That's a good combo.
Yeah. And this here is medium heavy, the fast action.
Yeah, I got the heavy action, that fast tip, fast action.
But they've just done an awesome job. These rods are now they're sold at Santee, Cooper here, Hills Landing. Matt Knight's just done an awesome job with this. He just he just got a passion for it.
Oh yeah. You get someone that has a passion for building good catfishing rods and pairing them up with a good reel, you got something good going.
Oh yeah. He uh he is amazing. I got to meet him last year at what they call the Battle of the PD. And every year they have two tournaments at the PD River. They have one on one Saturday night on the North Carolina side, and they have one the next Saturday night on the South Carolina side. And it's kind of like the Civil War. It's called the Battle of the PD. Well, North Carolina has a title for now. We'll see how this year goes. We're going to keep it though. Them South Carolina boys ain't got nothing for us. They just think they do.
Oh, you think the South Carolina boys don't have anything for that PD, huh?
Now, let me tell you something. There's some great PD fishermen from South Carolina and North Carolina. PD River is it's known for great big catfish, uh, and just awesome fishing. But everybody practices CPR is the reason why. They don't go to
Right.
they don't go down and clean the river out. There's no reason for that.
No, but
No.
you just got to keep the commercial fishermen out of there.
Well, that's one thing about the PD River. It's pretty rocky and pretty low in places. If you're a commercial fisherman down there, you better be real good at it because if you're not, you can have your boat snagged and sinking real fast.
Yeah, I was thinking more about the gill nets getting caught up and getting tore up would be the best part.
Yeah. Well, it's funny. We do have some of it, but we don't have as much as a lot of other states do.
Right. Texas Tiger says that PD River catches all the gold that flows south.
Yep, that's it. The PD River. It's something. Uh,
It,
and I've just got into running planer boards.
really?
Yeah,
So, what brand and where did you get them from?
these are whisker boards.
Who makes
Hey,
them?
Donnie Wall and the East Coast Whisker Assassins Protein. Uh,
Really?
$40 a set.
I've been wanting to try those boards there from the bank because I have
Right.
a lot of the rivers I use have current, but I
But
wouldn't know the first thing about using one of them things.
well, the thing about it is with current, it's just if you got a lot of current, they say it's hard. The best thing is on a lake, and Jerry Droughty was telling me about a half a mile an hour, just basically barely moving the boat. And then planer boards will let the bait flow out to both sides of the boat, so you cover
Right.
more area. But yeah, now I've got 3 sets of them, so we'll find out here in a few weeks.
All right. Brian B has a question for you.
Okay?
Chuck, do you have a Patriot rod?
Yeah, I do. I got 2 of them.
Is
Uh,
that from this year or from last year?
from last year. I don't have one of the new ones, but I tell you what, I won 2 of the Patriot rods. And being a vet, I hold that real dear to my heart. Yeah, they're in the closet in there. Red, white, and blue. You talking about pretty? Now those are 2 good-looking rods.
Those are awesome rods.
I'm waiting to see the new Patriot 2.0 is what they called it.
When is that one coming out, or is it already out?
It's supposed to be out. Yeah, I think it's coming out, or they're being shipped maybe the end of the month or here the next week or so, probably. But they've done a
I,
great job. That little company has. And it's funny. I met Matt Knight, and we were talking about Kasking. I bought and sent him a Recon 20 to try. He called me about a week later and he said, I ordered 10 more.
who was that?
Matt Knight, who owns Mad Cats.
Oh, really?
Yeah. I let him try a Recon 20. Before I knew it, he needed 10 more. Because you just can't beat that reel for the money, not for $70.
No. Here's what Brian B said. He ordered spider wire, red, white, and blue to go with a Patriot James rod.
Oh, I bet that'd be awesome. I bet that would
That
be
that
awesome.
would be epic. That'd be
Yeah.
an epic rod reel and line mixture with
Yeah.
that
I,
one.
I wouldn't even want to fish with that. I'd just hang it up. It's too patriotic to.
That would be something that you would hang up in a shadow box.
Yep. And it's funny. Speaking of that, when I was at the American Heroes Catfish Tournament, Patriot James gave me some red, white, and blue rattle floats like demon dragons, and they're
Right.
called American Patriots. That they're just cool, red, white, and blue.
That would be something, man. I don't think I could use them.
I haven't. They're still put up. But you never
I,
know. That might be what catches fish. That all Patriot. You know what I'm saying?
yeah, I'd put one in the shadow box and hang it on a wall.
Yeah. It's
Hello,
just
Sunfish
amazing.
Assassin. If you guys have any questions for Chuck about Kasking or what's a bait shop? The
Blood. Bloodline. I know about.
Bloodline Tackle.
Yeah.
Please ask him, and if he has the answers, he'll get them. Answer them. If not, he can get them for you and let you know anything. And you have a Facebook page and a YouTube channel, right?
Yeah, I do. I just started my YouTube channel back not too long ago. It's called Country Catfish with Chuck. Uh, and during the wintertime, I've decided that this year I'm gonna put a lot of effort into my YouTube channel and going live. And of course, I'm on Facebook. I had people walk up to me at the American Eagle tournament and said, "Well, you're Chuck Watkins. I know you from Facebook." And I was just amazed. I mean, I'm just a little old country boy that just has a passion for chasing cats.
And can I get one of my mods in here to put Country Catfishing with Chuck on YouTube's link up in chat? Andy's Facebook link.
How did Katie do Friday night? I seen her there at the tournament.
She did good all the way up till Saturday afternoon, I believe, where she had technical issues and she had to gracefully bow out because YouTube and her phone, or not YouTube, but Streamlab and her phone gave her some grief.
Right.
And she did everything in her power to get back on there, but
Yeah, there was
somehow
what
StreamYard would not let her come back on.
wasn't there a 20-minute timer or something like that? If you was gone
10-minute
20 minutes,
time limit.
10-minute timer. Yeah, 10 minutes. You were gone.
And Chuck, Kevin worked with her, knowing the issues she had. So he helped her out as much as he could. Then he had to do the 10-minute timer.
Right. Another thing that Kasking has come out with, I don't have any of them yet, but I've got some coming. Is with COVID, a lot of things have changed. There've been a bunch of people that got into fishing all because no social gatherings and stuff like that. It wasn't nothing else to do. So Kasking now sells a complete tackle kit,
Oh,
bass,
really?
trout, like a box that has lures, and I mean in real lures, hooks, sinkers, basically everything you need to start if you're a beginner, bass fisherman, trout fishing, pan fishing, and they have a catfish box coming. So,
That'd be cool.
well, I
Cause all
mean,
the
it's great for people that are just getting into it. They,
right.
instead of asking, well, what do I need to buy? They can buy the whole kit. And here is something basically to get them right the end of the day, take out and go catfishing or crappie fishing or catch brim or, we all started brim fishing. That's how most people I know got started fishing, catching brim or catching trout. Because when we was little, catching brim at the local farm pond, that's how we got started.
That's how I still. I mean, I still do my bait fishing for catfishing
Hmm.
instead of pushing a grocery cart through the grocery store to get bait for catfishing. Because I find it this way: it's cheaper and it's quicker and it's easier to be on the bank fishing to get your bait.
Right. Well, I have been blessed. There is a carp lake about 3 or 4 miles from where I live, and somebody had put brim and white little white bass and crappie in it. Well, carp fishermen hate all those, so they've got two big, huge traps up there at the lake, and I have been given the right to get all the fish out of the traps at any time to get them out of the lake.
That's amazing.
So I go up there with a live well and empty the traps into my live well, and I'm ready to go fishing.
See, I can go to a lake not less than 5 minutes from my house,
Right?
which is Frank Colton. And if you know what a rocket bobber is,
Yeah.
I put it's one of those that has a weight in the middle, so it lays flat on top of the water.
Right. Until it stands up.
And just with a hook on it, and that when that bobber just barely twitches anyway, I set the hook
Right.
before it even has a chance to stand up. When that bobber just laying there flat and not moving, motionless, that thing just barely twitches. Pop! You got a bluegill anywhere from that size to that size,
Right.
and
And
I
that's
have
bait.
I have 40 bluegills within 20 minutes.
Right. And that's perfect bait.
Uh huh.
Any bait that's in the water that catfish have an abundance of, they are feeding on it.
And I'll throw an 8 foot cast net, the same spot I was catching bluegills, and catch shad about like that. Then if I see an Asian carp out there, I put a treble hook on there, snag him, and bring him in. I got bait.
Well, we're lucky. We're lucky here in North Carolina. We don't have Asian carp yet. I'm not saying they're not coming because I'm sure they
But
are, but we don't have
I
them
tell
yet.
you what, those Asian carp are great bloody baits for catfish.
Yeah, I've heard Paula Smith talk about catching them and using them, but now, like I say, here in North Carolina, we don't have them yet. I'm not saying I'm sure they're on their way here because they went everywhere, but around here, creek chubs, brim, uh, shad, any of that.
All right, Big Mike has a question for you.
Okay,
Is Kasking thinking about doing a non-level wind reel for bank fishermen?
I have not heard anything about it. If they are, I like I say, I've not heard
That
no mention of it. Now, there's a bunch of big things coming, and of course, I'm not privy to insider information to what's on the design board, but they say this year there is a bunch of huge products coming out.
okay?
So I'm like everybody else. I just got to wait and see. This finesse braid was 3 months in coming out.
Really?
Hmm.
So
Uh,
I wonder how many times they put that through the test before they brought it out.
a bunch of times because not only does it come in an 8X, it also comes in a 13 strand. This is 8 strand. It also
Really?
comes in a it also comes in a 13 strand. This is 8 strands woven together. They
so
say it's
what?
virtually indestructible.
So what's the 13 strand look like?
It is so smooth. Honest, I don't see how it stays on the reel. It's just so. I mean, it's just smooth.
It's as smooth as a 8 strand.
Yeah, it's smoother than this. And I
I'd
thought
have
8
to
strand.
I'd have to see that 13 strand braid.
Well, I can say this 8 strand. I wish you could feel it. It feels like the hair on your head. It's so smooth.
Right.
And
I
so
got I
13.
got braid from Kasking once. I know how smooth that is. It feels
And
like
this
almost like wax.
and this right here is a step above that. The braid you got. So
Damn.
imagine 13. And of course, that finesse braid is big in the bass world. You know what I'm saying? For finesse fishermen that throw that jig up under the edge of the bush and want it to hit and automatically get a response because it doesn't stretch. One thing about braid is a direct contact from the point A to point B, which is the reel, where mono
Georgia,
will stretch.
How can they find you on Facebook?
On Facebook, I'm Chuck Watkins on Facebook. You'll see a big Kasking symbol. I'm sure you can't miss me.
That's how you find his link on Facebook, Georgia. Just
Yep,
go to Facebook, look up Chuck Watkins, and
yep,
you have Chuck Watkins' Facebook link.
yep. Uh, but that's one of the reasons I switched to braid. Braid has no memory. It has no stretch. It is a direct point from A to B.
Right. That's one thing I like about braid, especially catfishing. You don't have that stretch. You get that hook set just like that.
Oh yeah, when that rod is bowed over, the hook is more or less already set itself
Mm-hmm.
because the tension of that braid is so tight that it
He's
just
like
doesn't
a
pull that
piano
hook.
wire.
Yeah,
He's like a piano wire because when he pulls, the monofilament has that little bit of a stretch, but when that braid kicks in,
yeah.
the sinker comes up, that hook comes back.
Well, I tell you what, when I first started using braid, I made the fatal mistake. I got snagged. I thought I'd wrap it around my hand and jerk it and pull it loose. I bled like a stuck hog where I cut myself.
Paula, me and you use the same method. We use a braid from the reel to the swivel and a mono leader. That's the way I do it.
Braid to mono
Uh huh.
as a leader.
Yeah.
I
Because
run I run 65-pound braid and run 40-pound braid leader because braid floats. And especially if you're using a cat and shad or some float or even a santee rig to float your bait up off the bottom, that braid's already floating some.
yeah. Hold on, I gotta pick on someone in chat for a minute.
Okay?
Jason Lamb, you know about casting, especially when you tried to use a bait caster for snagging spoonbill last year. How's your thumb feeling from that still? He said next time he comes down snagging for spoonbill, he ain't gonna be using a bait caster. He's gonna be using a spinning reel. I know you could use a bait caster for spinning, for snagging, but it's gonna kind of be hard. I don't
Well,
see how that'd be easy to use a bait caster for snagging.
I don't either.
But
But
I know how well it worked out for him though. His thumb was, I'm gonna put it, blistered.
well, put it this way, I'm not going to say anything. Last week at the tournament, my finger is finally starting to heal, but there was where I was carrying the catfish from the weigh in, and it was eating my finger off, and I wasn't going to let go of it if it ate my hand off. That's one of them battle scars that I like. It was sore as the devil Sunday morning, though,
Yeah,
because it is
I know how
ripped
that
and tore.
feels.
Yep.
Because my pin 8000 has a 65-pound braid on it, high vis yellow, and it's about the diameter of about, let's say, 20-pound test, but it's super strong.
Yeah. I'll tell you what, if you ever get the bright idea you want to wrap it around your hand and pull it loose, the braid,
No,
don't
no,
try that.
no.
I'll
That
give you a word of advice. You'll bleed real bad.
that'd be like taking a 17-pound cage and wrapping around your hand and
Yeah,
tying it to a bolt, tying the other end of the boulder and lasso throwing it.
yeah.
That ain't gonna come out too well.
No, like I say, I learned my lesson real fast on braid. I thought, well, I'll just wrap it around my hand and just jerk it loose. I did. I
No.
jerked it, and blood just poured.
How many stitches you want in your hand?
That's how many you'll get if you try it.
Because that's what I tell people with a 17-pound Cajun line. You wrap it on your hand and you pull on something that's tied to a tree or something. You better be prepared to go to the hospital and get stitches.
I'm not. One thing I can say about that, I used that for a lot of years. That 17-pound red Cajun Zebco line is not no joke.
No, that
That
will
stuff
catch you
is
in a
no
heartbeat.
joke. And that stuff is tough. Now it really is tough.
That's what I use for my leader line.
Right. And you know,
17 to 20 pound Cajun.
but it's amazing how strong that 17 pound is, cause I've seen it hook before it moves the boat and not break. You think a 17 pound line would just snap.
Paula, I go anywhere from a 7-aught to 14-aught circle hook for catfishing. But when I'm going for big cats, I use a 14-aught with a big slab of bait like that with a stinger hook in it on the
I watched
Kasking River.
right. I watched a guy last week set up the stinger. I'd never seen it used before, but that was pretty cool.
I use stinger hooks a lot on the Kaskaskia. You got big cats that like to come up and short bite on
Yeah,
big baits and not hit it. So I do a 14-aught on the front, and I go down maybe 4 inches. I have the big hook up here. I have the stinger hook right about back here, and it'll stretch to the end of the meat, and I'll go through the end of the meat and have a circle hook hanging out
right.
with the lines going through it, to where when he bites down, he gets that circle hook.
I like circle hooks. I've used them for years. It was a hard habit though, first using circle hooks, not wanting to jerk that pole. After all those years of using J hooks, it was hard to break myself from not wanting to jerk that pole when I seen it get a bite.
Jason, you didn't get a spinning reel for snagging next year, but you're getting good at using the bait caster for snagging. Paula fishes everywhere, Jay Fox Hunter. She is a Tennessee girl, but I've seen her videos and stuff like that.
Shoot, I've expected any day to walk out the door here at my house and her be in the yard with the boat ready to go fishing. You never know
I
where
wouldn't,
Paula's going to be.
yeah, I wouldn't doubt if she was up here in Illinois looking for me just to go fishing the Mississippi. Hey, Betty, how you doing? Betty, a couple crosses fishing. If you guys have any questions for Chuck on Kasking, or his fishing adventures or anything, feel free to post them in chat. We'll get them answered for you.
Yeah, two old vets, I agree with that opinion. Most of us old timers, J hooks was all we knowed. I remember the first circle hook I ever seen. I thought that idea won't work. Well, that tells you how intelligent I was. Uh, but for years it was only J hooks. Uh, I remember for years and years growing up, there was but three or four brands of hooks. Eagle Claw was one of them. And now there's as many hook manufacturers and as many hook companies as there are anything else in the world.
Good night, Chrissy Brown. Big Mike, that'd be about one time I'd probably get on a boat is with someone I trusted with like Paula Smith. Because she's shown a lot of fortitude in that last Sea Arc challenge about when to go on that river and when not to go on that river on that tournament. So yeah, I'd probably get on that boat with her and go fishing.
Yeah, I think it would be a lot of fun to go fishing with
I
Paula
think it
Smith.
would too.
Because God knows if anybody can find the big ones, she's good at it.
Oh yeah. And Paula's heard me quite a few times that I would not get on the boat to go fishing, but after her going to the Sea Arc tournament and seeing how bad it was and bow out gracefully about not going, that says a lot about a boat fisherman. And I have to stand up and look at that because that I have to. I'll stand behind her on a choice like that.
Well, like I say, water is real unforgiving. It can get real dangerous and take your life real fast. It's It's not one of those mistakes that you can say, oops, let me back up and rethink this. When you're there, it's already too late.
When you pulling into the boat ramp and you see that, you have at least 20 minutes to decide whether you're going out or not.
Yeah.
But once you put that boat in the water in the middle of that lake, in the middle of that stuff,
Your choices
you
are
have,
done.
yeah, your decisions,
You're made.
choices are done. You have to make your way back to that boat ramp safely to get out of that water.
Yeah, that's like,
Ch-
go ahead.
Chuck Watkins, what do you fish? Curve, or should I say bugs?
Well, believe it or not, I fished the PD River in Rockingham, which is 175 miles from my house. Every day off, and I'm off work, I drive 175 miles there to fish it and 175 miles back
Damn.
on a day off. That's my day off.
So what time do you leave the house to make that drive?
About 4 o'clock in the morning, and I get home about 10 at night.
Woo.
And that is my day off. That is my happy day off.
I've never drove 175 miles in one day to go fishing.
That is one way.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I have never drove that in one day to go fishing. If I had to do that, I'd leave. I'd take Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday off, and Monday off just to go do that drive, spend a few days there, and drive back.
Right. Well, it's fun because it's about I can leave my house at 4 o'clock or 4:30, whatever, and I can be there by 7:30 in the morning. I can fish till 6 or 7 in the evening and be home by 10. Time to go to bed and go to work again. So
Two old vet says that's the that kind of day sounds like me out out to drive, and Big Mike says he's done it.
yeah, it's just one of
Wow.
them things. It's just the fishing's amazing. The PD River, the fishing is absolutely amazing. When they're hitting, it's untelling what you're going to hook on the other end. So for a
So
175-mile ride, it's worth it.
that's for me like the Kaskaskia, because I know the two the kind of river it is and what it holds and what it breeds. So I know if you whereas to catch a yellow belly or a channel cat in there, you're very lucky
Right,
because the size of fish that's in that river and the two types of fish that's in that river that eat both of them are huge, which is the blue cats and the flatheads.
right.
I've caught an 83-pound blue out of that river, and I caught a 45-pound flathead out of that river.
Well,
And when
I
I
think
had him on shore, he spit up a 14-inch yellow belly, which was still alive.
right.
So that kind of tells me that yellow bellies and channels do not have much of a chance in that river.
Well, like I say, not this past summer, summer before last, I was sitting fishing at the PD River Saturday night, 11 o'clock. I'd been getting a hit on a big old rod and reel, and I had a 65-pound braid. I had a 105-pound stainless steel leader, and all of a sudden, this rod had been hit about twice, real good jerks.
Right.
Well, my buddy was with me. I said, that rod's fixing to go over, and it did. It went plumb over. I grabbed the rod, pulled on it. I didn't even turn the fish. I didn't even slow it down.
No.
Boom, that quick, it was gone. And I told my buddy, I said, well, I can't believe it broke the line. And I said, well, it must have broke the line, but I started reeling in. I could feel
It
my
broke the
sinker.
leader, the swivel.
It pulled the swivel off the end. It pulled the
Mm-hmm.
swivel off the steel leader.
Mm-hmm.
I'm still chasing that fish. I'm still. That's what
I
keeps you going back. That's what keeps you going back looking for it.
I have a heavy duty rod holders that are made out of spring
Hmm.
that are made to use to hold flags that a bait shop makes up here in Alton. And with my 13-foot and my 15-foot and 11-foot rods in them, when they bend over a certain amount of ways, that spring holds onto the rod. And the reason why I use them on a casket is because those big cats like to hit hard. And with a rod laying like that, flat on the ground with that rod holder, the rod sticking that rod holder, all you hear is drag running.
Right.
That 83-pound cat had that rod laying flat on the ground. It wasn't coming out of that rod holder, but that drag was running like candy. And it took me to pull that rod up by loosening the drag a little bit to where I could stand the rod up to get out of that rod holder. And that rod holder is still bent at the base where that blue cat had bent it at the knuckle.
Trying to pull it over.
Uh-huh. He tried to pull that rod holder out of that bank, and it did not come. It just bent.
Well, like I
Yeah.
say, I've seen some amazing fish caught, and I've seen some, and it's funny. I've hooked some big fish that I thought would just be the battle of a lifetime that weren't really that much of a fight, and then I've hooked some mid-sized fish. Uh, that guess what was the fight of a lifetime.
What's that?
Good night.
Good night, Paula. I
But
know you have, Jason. What was the fight of a lifetime?
I said I've hooked some big fish that you think would just be a monster to get in, right? That
Right.
wasn't that much of a battle. Basically, they swam to the boat. Then I've hooked some 30-pound fish that you would think weighed 125 pounds by the time you got through fighting them to get them in the boat.
Right.
So you can't always judge the fight by the size of the fish. Because I've caught some big fish that wouldn't no fight at all until they get to the boat and they roll up and they can see the boat. And then all of a sudden the fight's on.
Uh, that's the one thing about that 83-pounder fishing from the bank on the Kaskaskia. Once you got him out of the current, he was not much of a fight. But once he got 10 feet from the bank,
The fight was on.
it was like someone lighting a rocket and just watching them hit that current again and take off. But that's fun fishing because Jason Lamb, he fished in Mississippi last year at the first meet and greet, and within an hour, he caught 120 pounds of cat.
Wow.
And none of those cats he caught were small. His biggest one was 53 pounds. And you talk about a man that was giddy as a boy in the as a young kid in the candy store.
Oh, I'm sure.
That boy, I mean, that man there, his face was lit up. I mean, he was ecstatic over that
Like my,
53 pounds.
like my dad said, he had a smile you couldn't knock off with a 2x4.
Yeah, but you had to see him as soon as he hooked into the second cat on the same rod he just put out, not 5 minutes later.
Right.
I mean, he hooked 3 cats on the same rod within 15 minutes of each other.
He found them.
Oh,
That's what
yeah.
it takes.
And
Sometimes you just
he
luck up
was
and
not
find
even
them.
10 feet from me. We was fishing the same river channel. And, man, those three had to be stacked up in there in that one hole back to back.
And he just said it right there and pulled them out.
Uh-huh.
And you're just sitting there watching.
I was astounded. I knew what that river was capable of,
Right.
and I gave him the heads up of what to expect. But that hole was just the right spot, the right time.
Well, a lot of times it's just, it's being at the right place at the right minute.
Let's see,
Uh,
he moved spots 20 feet from one end to on the other side of me, and as soon as he got to the other side of me, it was game on.
right.
And
But
then he
also,
just lit up like a Christmas tree.
but another thing too is it's a lot of work. If you fish the same area of water, you have to keep looking for them because they're moving.
Yeah,
You know what I'm saying?
that's why I say I know that Kaskaskia River real well
Right.
because I fish it, and I keep certain holes to where I like to fish and want to fish a lot. I go there a lot. And I like to introduce Jason to that one spot I go to a lot. Let him hook into some more bigger cats, especially night fishing there. Boy, that he'd be visiting that river a lot more.
So you're trying to say you'd have to run him off?
No, I would never run Jason off.
You just wouldn't get to fish there, right?
I'd get to fish here. He'd let me fish by him, but I'd
Right,
probably see him down there every weekend.
right. Well, once you find a place that you like to fish and you find out where you can find the fish, then it's just locating what they're feeding on.
That'd be easy for the Kaskaskia River. That would be
Really?
easy. Yep. I could list off about hold on. About seven baits that you can take there and fish it. 7 baits out of the river or lake. And they're all good baits. And bluegill one being fly bait for flatheads.
Right,
Then you got your shad for cut bait. You got your skipjack, which is also bloody. You got your Asian carp, your big head carp, your suckers, and your buffalo.
right. Now,
And with them being cut and bloody in big chunks, you can catch big flatheads and big blues.
right. Yeah, if you find what the fish are feeding on in the water, what there's an abundance of, you know what I'm saying? That's what they're feeding on.
Mm-hmm.
And you just throw them that bait, but you've got to find them. A lot of people think, well, you just go to the water, throw your rod in. No, it's not like that.
No, it
You got to
was
find them where they're holed up at,
right.
uh, different times of the year, different water conditions where they're at.
Because I know during the daytime, at that spot I want to show Jason from the bank to that river channel, he could hit from the bank with maybe 150-yard cast.
Right,
Because if he did a 300, 200 to 300-yard cast, you'd hit the other bank.
right,
Because it from there at New Athens, I'd say the river bank is maybe about 300 yards wide, if
right,
if not less. And hitting that river channel in the daytime, you'd pull up big blues and possibly flatheads.
right.
But come nighttime, you put live bait close to the bank, Flathead City.
Well, there's this hole where I fish at Rockingham, and it's right above the bridge. And what it is during flood conditions, all these trees and logs and stumps have washed up against the bridge pilings. And so there's a brush pile there, a big brush pile. And it drops off about 15 or 16 foot back up to 8. You can anchor up in the 8-foot water and throw down in that 16-foot water where all that brush is.
Uh huh.
And their fish are stacked up like cords of wood because they're in around that brush pile.
Mm hmm.
And anywhere there's a break in the current, if the current's running real strong and there's a turn in the river and all of a sudden there's a break to the left, then fish are sitting on the left side waiting for a bait to come around the current. A lot of people don't realize you want to fish the breaks.
Right.
You want to
You
look for
see,
the break in the current, not the
Jason.
current.
All right, Jason. This place I want to show you is not at the Lock and Dam. This is another place that you'd love. This place here is a lot better. A lot. I mean, it's not as busy with barges, so you don't have to worry about barges coming up and destroying your lines and moving everything. You may have to deal with some boat traffic, but this place is epic for flatheads and blues. Go ahead, Chuck.
Well, like I say, a lot of people think that you're catching the fish out of the current, and you're not. I mean, there will be fish in the current, but the bigger fish will be off to the break. Like if you got bridge pilings and the water comes around by the pilings and then all of a sudden it pools over to the right,
Right.
put your bait in that pool to the right. You don't want it in the
Hmm.
current to be washed down because what it is they're sitting there on that corner or wherever it is in the pool waiting for bait fish to come down through the current.
Exactly.
But
And I
there's a lot of people that think that you have to fish the current, but you don't.
let's
You
see
want to fish the breaks.
the Kaskaskia. In order to get a break, you'd have to find an eddy or a cove or something like that to
Right,
get out of the current. Because if you fish the Kaskaskia, it's all current.
right,
Unless you find a boat dock with an eddy that has a cove going back in it, then you might be able to get off in there and fish that.
right.
But with a Kaskaskia, you don't got like the Mississippi does with the eddies and the levees and all that stuff. This is just one straight riverbank with not much of breaks in it.
Well, it's funny,
You'll have a few current seams in there.
right? Now them are good, but it's funny. The PD River, it'll probably look like it's probably I'm gonna say 350 yards wide, right? And you may think that you'll be going along and it'll be 15 foot of water, and all of a sudden it'll be 3 foot of water that quick, just before you
Right.
know it. I mean, you know what I'm saying? But if you looked at the river when it's flowing, you would think, my God, that river's 25 foot deep. And it may be 6 foot, then over to 15 foot, then to 25 foot, and then to 2 foot. Just that fast. And if
I've
you don't,
seen that. I've seen that Kaskaskia go anywhere from let's say 9 feet to 60 feet
right,
in a heartbeat, and that's especially where they dredge it for the barges to come up to a certain point to unload.
right,
I got something right there in the corner of my eye. I can't get it out.
you look.
There you
For
go. I got it.
for me, I've been dealing with allergies lately. All this pollen, God, it's been horrible here.
Yeah, I've been dealing with that here because when allergies get in my eyes, I mean, it just makes my eyes water, and when it dries up, it gives those little chunks
Crusty,
of you. Yeah,
yeah,
crust chunks
crusty.
you have to get out.
Yep, it is.
But it's amazing. It is really amazing.
Well, I think anybody, if you've got the passion for it and you put the time in and you go out and look, you can catch trophy catfish, big
Art,
catfish.
I'm sorry, but Art, you wouldn't bring a chair to my eye. You don't bring a chair to my eye.
A chair to your eye.
Jason, anytime you want to go to that spot I'm talking about, New Oceans, let me know. I'll send you the link and I'll meet you there. All we need is some live bait like suckers, carp, Asian carp, skipjack, and shad. And I'll bring the gills. Because that place there is heaven.
Well, Abbott,
Uh
you've done a great job with this show. You've been on what? How many years now?
this is going on my second year.
I was say this your second year because I knew you had Matt Jones on last year, and let's see,
Uh-huh.
Paula Smith. You've had a bunch of big people on.
Yeah. Art asked, did you come to the Patriot James tournament? Yes, he
Yes.
did.
hmm I was I was very humbled by that tournament. It was awesome. It was
Yes.
just awesome. Like I say, I can't say enough about what the catfishing community done for the vets. They were amazing. It
And
was
you're a
like,
veteran yourself.
and well, I was humbled. I was humbled to see the people turn out And you think about these people, think about it, 70 boats was what I think was signed up, but they raised $7,000. That's just unbelievable, an amount of
That's
money.
that's an amazing thing.
It
70
is,
boats and the amount of people that showed up just to raise money for veterans.
right, for homeless veterans,
Yeah, for homeless veterans and the veterans home.
and raised 70,000 or raised $7,000. It was just amazing.
That was, I mean, that's epic.
And like I say, next year I think will be even bigger and better because everybody that was there, it was like I said earlier, it truly was like a family reunion. It was like
Hmm.
people sat around and talked and had a big time and cut up and carried on and had fun, and they were there for a cause.
Yeah, they were there
And,
for a cause.
and some great fishing. Lake Wiley is some great fishing. I'll give it that. It's a great fishery.
They may have been there for the fishing, but that wasn't the star of the show.
Nope, the star of the show was the homeless veterans.
Right.
It was,
And everything that James Smith worked so hard for every year to put that together was amazing.
oh, let me tell you what, when they went down all the stuff that they gave away, they had a raffle, and I'm just telling you, people were buying $80 worth of raffle tickets, $100 worth of raffle tickets. You know what I'm saying? Uh, Chris Flores, Muddy River rods, uh, Big Cat Fever rods, whatever. They were all kinds of donations of people that wanted to help support homeless veterans. I mean, I was just, like I say, I was in awe. I really was. I was humbled.
That just,
It just shows what kind of heart the catfish community has
yeah,
as a whole. This community, let me tell you what, the catfish community, I rank them. Everybody talks about the great MLF bass tournament. I'm not throwing off on bass fishermen. You know what I'm saying? They make the big money. They've got great big sponsors, the big TV deals.
yeah. But let me ask you this: has any bass community ever done what the catfish community has done for the veterans?
No, and I was fixing to say, guess what? Do they have big sponsors and big money? Yes. And and don't be wrong, I'm not throwing off on bass fishermen. Uh, everybody has their own thing they love to do. But the catfishing community, I'm telling you, they came together as a family. I mean, it's like a family. It'd be like you and your brother was sick. You go over to help him. And that's
Uh
what the
huh.
catfishing community did at the American Heroes Catfish Tournament. It was just truly, truly humbling. It was truly amazing.
Yeah. Look at what Roger Dittmeyer does for the veterans. Look what Patriot James does with veterans.
Right.
Lyle Stokes gave up an 1,800-mile drive to go down to Carolina with Patriot James to help him raise funds, and to help him with that
Yeah.
Patriot veterans tournament.
Well, you think about the big names in catfishing that I had seen them on Facebook or watched them on YouTube. Dieter Melhorn, Fishing with Big and Nasty, Palmetto Cats, K&B Anglers.
Yeah, all the
People
people just show up down there. Just
just, yeah. Hey,
that's
when
amazing.
and it's 7 o'clock in the morning or 6:45 in the morning, a little kid with a steel guitar plays the national anthem, and every boat sitting out there. It was absolutely breathtaking, and every boat had a big, huge American flag flying on it. It was something else. I'm just telling you.
Yeah, but
And
an 18-year-old kid
yeah,
on
he
a
was either
guitar playing the national anthem.
yes in the morning at 6:45. You can't even get a kid out of bed at 6:45 in the morning.
Wow,
He was real young. He may not have been 18, but he was young. He wasn't very old at all, but he done an awesome job.
that I mean, that says a lot.
It was just, I'm telling you, it was one of the most, it's probably one of the greatest events I've ever got to be a part of. It was just humbling in a way that I don't even know how to pronounce it other than it was just amazing. You know what I'm saying? And the job Patriot James does year to year to year, just over and over and over. You know what I'm saying? He's relentless
Yeah.
at it. He doesn't give up. He doesn't give up. He's
No, he
already doing
don't.
next year's. He's doing next year's already.
Oh yeah, he's amazing. I
And
will
of
say
course,
this: he is very much amazing.
he is. And Roger Dittmeyer's the same way. He, like you said, his tournament is not even over yet, and he's already planning next year's. I bet you. I bet
And
you.
we have a lady in chat that was there at the catfish tournament,
Uh huh.
Laura the Explorer, and she just posted the video on that event that we're talking about.
Oh, it's amazing.
It is amazing, and I've seen some of her pictures and everything. And when we're done, I'm gonna go over to her channel and watch that video. And Laura, we've been on and off about this all night long, talking about this. It's something close and dear to our hearts, and it was. It's been humbling
It
to
is a.
hear how that tournament turned out.
It was. It's like I say. It's
It's humbling and mind blowing all
yeah.
at the same time.
Yeah, I mean, you kind of stand there like you're in awe. It's like your mouth drops to your knees to see people turn out, like you say, drive 1,800 miles to help a vet, a homeless vet. I mean, it truly was touching. And like I say, I can't say enough about James Smith. He just done a hell of a job, and all the volunteers that worked with him. Richard Warskow,
There's another one that was there.
Mr. Gadget. Yeah, the way in was a show. I'm telling you, it was just like I say. It was, and it's
Uh,
funny. They made
you
a
might
plaque.
here's the one that was there with at the meet and greet over
Lo-
there.
Laura the
Laura the
Explorer.
Explorer.
Hmm.
She's there down there too. So
I was just there was so many people there. Let me tell you what. It was just you couldn't turn around without bumping into somebody that you had seen on Facebook or you had watched on YouTube or a name that you
yeah,
just recognized. Just you know what I'm saying. And all these people come together to put on this great event. Like I say, I was just
that is a statement right there, Laura. You hit that one right on the head.
oh, if you had seen him present that plaque to the chaplain, I was standing right there, right behind the chaplain, right there at the ramp that went down to the boat dock. And everybody that fished that day, they had made a round wooden plaque with a fishing rod on it, and we had all signed it. And that plaque is going up in the homeless veterans' home in the hall. It was truly just amazing. It
That
was.
that would be a tearjerker.
Oh, let me tell you something. I walked away that day with a lump in my throat that I didn't get out of my throat till I got to Charlotte, which is 20 miles. I was just, it was amazing.
Like Laura said, it was extremely humbling moments for sure. When Patriot James talked to her about how he was going to present the plaque, it was touching.
Patriot James and some other fishermen, they took their dog tag like this and hung it on the end of the rod on that plaque in a row. It was just you just had to have been there. I'm just telling you, it was one of those not a dry in the house moments.
Yeah,
It
that'd have
was
been a choking moment on that one.
it was it was truly amazing. Uh,
Laura, post your link in chat so people can go over there and check out that video.
and the camaraderie. Let me tell you what. Now there was some smack talking. There was a bunch of that because you know how catfishermen are. They're going to talk smack to each other. But when it come down to the moment, it was all about the bets.
Yep.
I mean, yeah, there was some trash talking going on and smack talking. Of course, that's part of the fun. That's what it's all about.
Laura says a fishing pole mounted to that plaque belonged to Patriot James's daddy.
Yeah, I heard that. It was. I'm
Man,
telling
that
the rod was probably, I'm going to say 16 or 18 inches. It looked like an old ice fishing rod, is what I was thinking, because it was metal. The rod
right.
was with a little bait casting reel on it, probably 2 inches around. But I'm just telling you, it'd take your breath.
I'm just getting a lump in my throat just thinking of it.
It was it was truly, truly amazing.
Mr. Gadget says that's Bud Stroke, if I recall. Got to talk with him and helped him load all the stuff and clean up. Great guy and enjoyed giving him donations. We plan to go down and help work on the home.
Uh, yeah, Laura, if you'd have been there at I think it was before the takeoff, about 6:45 in the morning,
Yeah, before the lunch.
before the launch, and here's all these boats sitting out on the water, and the hats are off, and that kid playing the national anthem at 6:30, 6:45 in the morning. I'm just telling you,
That's
American flags flying on every boat. It was amazing.
that's
It
enough
was,
to give you goosebumps.
yeah. It
Just thinking that just picturing that right now would give you goosebumps.
well, just think about how that family come together. That's what I'm saying.
Oh yeah,
The catfish community as a family didn't hesitate, came together,
oh,
and it's funny. I got invited by Junior Warscow about a month and a half ago, and he said we're gonna go fishing, and we're gonna have a good time. And I had just known him from Facebook for about a year, but we'd
and
always wanted to.
you didn't have to pay for anything, did you?
No, but I donated $60 or $80 to the raffle. You know what I'm saying? It didn't matter. It was all for a good cause. I wasn't there for me. I promise you. It
Here
wasn't
you
there
go.
for me. Yeah.
American Heroes Catfish Tournament 2021 through Laura's eyes.
Uh. Yeah. It was. Wow.
Everybody, if you don't have Laura the Explorer, go over there, watch that video, give her a thumbs up, and sub to her and hit the bell notification. She's a sweetheart. She has some great videos.
Like I say, it's I'm proud of what the catfishing world does for veterans. All the catfishing world. I'm glad to spread the word about what the catfishing world does. They step up in a way that no other organization ever has, ever.
And out of all the organizations and like I'm not bashing the Bassmasters or anything,
No, me neither.
but
Not at all.
all of them that I know of that I've seen, there's one that supports. I can't remember the name of the magazine, but they have a TV show on Outdoor Life. They do support the vets, and they do support. They don't support them the way the catfish community does, but they do bring them up in chats from time to time. But the catfish community takes it above and beyond by doing tournaments, by doing uh, getting the people involved with building homes and houses and donations and all that.
Well, I
And
can't
I'd like to see more of that.
I can't think of what the name of the tournament is or the weekend is. But excuse me, Junior Bird, they call him PBJ. He goes and they take disabled veterans. They carry them if they have to put them on the boat
Right.
and take them fishing,
No.
which is an awesome, awesome thing to do. You know what I'm saying?
Roger with Muskrat Adventures.
Yeah.
is going to a tournament this weekend in Illinois that is for the vets,
Right. Well, like I say,
and that's going to be epic.
oh, I take great pride in what this catfish community does for vets. These guys step up every year. They do amazing things to help vets. They just they they take it upon themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Uh, I had a guy. I guess he put it to me the best way I know was at the American Hero Tournament. He came to me and he said, "I support these because of vets. I get to go do what I do every day and love what I do because some vet paid the price for me to do it." And I guess that makes about the best sense of any way of putting it.
Yeah, which is really, really amazing. Hey, Central Valley Adventures, welcome.
Yeah,
But
it was.
you guys, I mean, you guys put a lot on the line for us, but this is the only way we can turn around and say thank you, and so show how much we care and support you for this, for your choices to lay down your life on the line for us to give us this freedom we have.
Well, let me tell you something. The love that was shown at the American Heroes Catfish Tournament, like I say, was absolutely just overwhelming. It was. It really was unbelievable. I was, like I say, I'm ready for next year. I'm sure Patriot James has already got it in the works. He done said it would be the 16th of April next year.
I'd like to try to find a way to hold something like that here.
Oh, it's
I would
see.
know. I would know the first thing about doing something like that.
Well, what you do is you get a bunch of your friends together, have them do a tournament. Uh, like he presented trophies, right?
Right.
And it was like first, second, and third place. Littlest fish got a little trophy about this big. It was funny. It was, but and I'm sure somebody donated. You know what I'm saying? The trophies. And let's say you do $50 a pair, right?
Yeah.
Or if you think about it, if you've got 10 people that fish a tournament, that's $500. If you've got 20, it's $1,000. That's $1,000 that some veteran organization didn't have. You know what I'm saying? That's the way to look at it.
Whoops.
Like the $60. Yeah.
I understand that, John Foxhunter. No one takes a knee during the national anthem because that's uncalled for.
Let me
That's
tell you something.
disrespectful.
Let me tell you something. Here's how I feel about it. If you're going to take a knee, donate your legs to a vet who don't have them so he can stand for it.
Exactly. I agree with that one. I I'm not giving you any grief on that one, J.F. Foxhunter. I understand what you meant by that, and I support this national anthem. And these football players that take a knee need to give their knees to vets so they can stand.
You need to go on Facebook sometime and look up that soldier that's in a wheelchair that they're playing the national anthem
Mm-hmm.
and his legs are strapped together where he's crippled, but he still manages to muster himself up and stand straight long enough to stand for the national anthem.
Yeah, that's a lot of pain there.
Yeah. And I get they have the right to disagree with certain sentiments and but to me, you don't take a knee during the national anthem for no reason.
I agree with that one, Mr. Gadget. What is football? There's no need for that crap. You just got a new supporter, Chuck. Laura the Explorer just subbed to your channel.
Thank you very much. I appreciate it.
Laura, go over to his Facebook page and uh, You can add him as a friend there too, because he does. He is also an ambassador to Kasking and to Bloodline Tackle.
Well, like I say, you know, there's a lot of great people out here that do a lot of great things for vets. And the catfishing community, though, they stepped up as a whole, and I'm just humbled. I'm humbled at the different organizations. Like I say, you think about taking a weekend and taking a vet in a wheelchair and putting him on a boat. You have to carry him
Mm-hmm.
to the boat, get him on the boat, get him off the
That
boat.
that's just heartfelt right there.
Yeah, but you think about these
Seeing four
guys,
guys pick a guy up out of a wheelchair in his wheelchair, put him on a pontoon boat,
right?
load him up so we can go fishing, and
Bring him
wow,
back and take care of him all day. You know
uh
what I'm
huh,
saying? And guess what? And love it. Can't and when it's over, can't wait till next year to do it again.
right. You got people going out there with pontoon boats just to take handicapped vets out there to fish in it,
Well, you
and
gotta
you got regular boats taking people vets out there as well too. But that's
you
just
gotta
amazing.
understand. These people tell me that they get more out of it than the vets do.
Uh huh.
They do. They said they get more inside in their
Yeah,
heart.
it's
Than,
more of a way of giving back for
right.
something that they couldn't do.
Well, you
It's
think
more of the freedom that those vets give them so they can do this, but this is more of a way that we give back to you guys. We're saying thank you.
and I agree with that. Uh, like I say, and for those of people that do own a boat, if you know some vets around your area, if you know some vets that are struggling, take a Saturday evening, take them fishing, or a Sunday evening, take them fishing. I promise you, the blessing will be bigger for you than it is for them.
I'd like to
Uh,
find some people in Illinois that are cat fishermen like me that like to get together and get something like this started every year to do this every year in Illinois
well, there you
for
go.
our
Hey,
vets.
have a bank fishing tournament and have it for and with vets. Invite vets down to fish with you.
Oh, we got fisheries here for cats. We got the fishery here for big blues, flatheads, channels.
Right?
We got the fishery here for that.
Well, like I say, do it and invite vets down. And if anybody knows any vet that is struggling,
Bring them along.
yeah, and honest to God, take 5 minutes of your time if they're having a hard day. Talk to them.
Mm-hmm.
You don't know what's inside their head that they had to do. You have no idea the things some of them seen.
No, I
They
agree with you on that.
they carry a demon that probably most of the world, even me, I couldn't even
Right.
begin to imagine. You know what I'm saying?
But a lot of vets need someone to talk to.
That's it. And that's why I said, if you take them fishing, you might give them a new idea of something they can live for. That
Mm-hmm.
going fishing, that thrill. And then, like I say, maybe we wouldn't give away 22 three-corner flags every day. Every day. Imagine how many days a week.
I'd almost say this: if we could come up with tournaments like this all the way across America,
You're right.
to where we could hold tournaments like this, start funding for vets' homes to get the vets off the streets, off the suicide watch list, and get them somewhere to where they can have a place to call their home.
Give them somebody to talk to.
Right, even give them someone to talk to, and even brighten their day up to let them
Yeah,
know that they're not alone, that someone that is there to care,
yeah.
and
Because
to
you
donate money for that fund to help them get what they need.
you had like I say, uh, when I was in the service, I got to talk to a couple of boys that had been to Vietnam, and they told horror stories that I couldn't even begin to imagine. My mind, I couldn't even begin to imagine. They live with it every day. So they send these young boys that are 18, 19 years old, 20 years old to Iraq, Iran, Afghanistan, wherever it is they send them to. And
Right.
these boys have done things that me and you probably couldn't even begin to imagine.
No, I wouldn't be able to imagine half the stuff they've done.
And
Because
it
if
wasn't
we could,
because they wanted to. It was because they were told to.
right, they were ordered to do it, and they did it. But
Well, like I
in
say, if
in
you're
the
going to
part of
send the boys,
Illinois where I'm from,
mhm,
I could cut. We could have a tournament for Illinois, Missouri, and Kentucky for the veterans in the surrounding states, to where it'd be a good, crucial fundraising for vets.
well, like I say, the part that gets me is they send a boy to battle, and then they bring
Yeah.
a man home with demons, and they turn him loose in the world, and thank you,
Uh
have a
huh.
good day, because they don't care.
They don't give him. They don't, he needs the resources to.
They do.
What's the word I'm looking for? To
They need somebody to help him, to help with the demons.
right.
They need somebody to talk to. They need an avenue. Uh, I I was in the service with a boy who grew up in a little town in Missouri, a little country town, and he said that he rode the bus home after Vietnam, and the neighbor next door that him and his kids had played with on the tire swing, ate supper at their house. They had eaten at each other's house, played in the dirt, whatever. His neighbor had a sign in his yard that said "No dogs or soldiers" on the grass. Now, can you imagine going home to a hometown that you grew up in, and your next door neighbor you'd known your whole life?
Put something like that on there. I'd burn the sign down.
Well,
I'd burn that sign.
see, you can't imagine what some of these boys come home to. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I say the catfishing community, though, as a whole, is awesome when it comes to vets.
Yeah, Jason. I know you would do it. It take more than me and you to get something like this off the ground in this area. We need to find some more people like us that can get something like this going. And thank you for sharing Patriot Catfishermen of America's link, Laura.
Yeah, James does an awesome job.
But we need more of that across America. And Patriot James says that every Wednesday night. If we can get more of these tournaments across America to help fund the veterans and get them the help they need, it'd be great.
I agree. Well, it's like I was told my whole life. The longest journey in the world starts with one step.
Mm-hmm.
And like I say, it's just, and we all got a part to play. You know what I'm saying? We've all got a thing we can
Oh,
do.
we all got a part to play. It's just how do we go about doing it? How do we
Right.
find what the right resources to work with the vets instead of going through these political offices to do it?
No. Let me tell you what. Uh, Vets do have resources, but they don't have
Right.
near what they deserve. They don't have near what they
No.
deserve. There shouldn't be one homeless vet in this world. There shouldn't be one because, and I'm not being ugly about this, but I'm just saying vets deserve it before refugees, people from other countries, and I'm not throwing off on them. So, you know what I'm saying? Don't take that the wrong way. But vets deserve it first. That's just my thoughts.
Judy, you do have some good fishing there in New Mexico. You have Elephant Butte Lake, you have the Muddy River, and those are both good enough fishing areas to where you can hold catfish tournaments for veterans. And if I do know you know someone in New Mexico that has a heart of gold, which is Muddy River Catfishing, Chris Flores.
Yep, Chris is awesome.
Chris is an amazing person, and that's just the tip of the iceberg. Just how and where you want to try to get a tournament like that going for veterans is all up to you and how you go about doing it. But in order to do that, you'd have to talk to someone who's done it, like Patriot James, to find the resources to do that with, or who to talk to do something like that.
What you do is find a charity that does great veterans work. That's a reputable charity. Get in touch with them and find out what you can do to help further their support for veterans. What do they need?
Right,
What do they need? What are they looking for at this moment? What do they need? You know what I'm
right.
saying? And start there. And then you build a tournament around it. You have a tournament to, like Patriot James's was for the homeless veterans in Camp Centurion. Uh, that's amazing. I mean, when I thought about a vet living under a bridge in a box, when I think about it now,
And in that, anytime I go through St. Louis and see a vet sitting on the sidewalk asking for money, that makes your heart sink.
yeah, because you're thinking, what happened for him to end up here?
It's the government that failed them.
You're right. They did. They brought.
Government said that we got you,
Thank
we got your back. But once you get that DD 214 and honorable discharge, see ya.
you. Yep.
So,
Uh, it breaks my heart to think of a vet living under a bridge or on the side of a street
mm-hmm.
or
In a homeless camp or an abandoned building with holes in the roof and the rain coming in on you,
and you know he's done paid enough. He don't need to pay no more. He's done
no.
paid the price.
He,
Um,
he he paid the price, but he don't have to suffer for it afterwards.
right. Uh, and I know a lot of times that it's because of what they're dealing with mentally.
Right. It's that
They're
mental exhaustion that they have to live through every day.
yeah. So, like I say, that they deal with things that me and you couldn't even begin to imagine.
Exactly.
Well, Avid,
Laura,
I have to go to work tomorrow. Let me tell you what a great honor it was being on your show again.
anytime, bud.
I
I'm glad
appreciate everything you do.
I'm glad we kept it. We was able to talk about this topic because it's near and dear to my heart, your heart, and everybody's heart in chat. But anytime you want to come back, just say the word, and it's an open door.
I appreciate it a lot. I really enjoyed it. Thanks everybody for putting up with me and my big mouth, and my wife does it all the time. And so, but it's been a great
Well,
honor.
we've
And,
been on there for almost 2 hours anyway, so it's a good thing.
all right, Avid. Thank you. Good night, guys.
You're welcome. You have a good night.
You too.
Laura, you're an amazing woman. I love you do a great job in this chat every night. I'm glad for your I'm glad that you share your links and I can't wait to see that video you posted, Laura. And please everybody go over to Chuck's YouTube channel and give him a like, a subscribe, and a bell notification, and go over to his Facebook page as well and show him some love. He is one of our vets. And Jason, if you're still in here, we will talk about getting something like this going for our vets in Illinois. I just need to figure out how to go about doing this. That's all right, Laura. You can go back and rewatch it. He did talk a little bit about Kasking. I am going to go, as soon as I'm done off of here, I'm going to go watch that real quick, Laura. So Jason Lamb, let's get together and see how we can get this up off the ground. If you're in here. And with that, good night, everybody. Sweet dreams and tight lines, and I'll see you on the riverbank sometime or next Sunday night. Good night. I'll be waiting to see him, Laura.